Was Xiphos Moonlight worth it? Short answer, yes. Long answer, watch the rest of the video. I summoned for Xiphos Blade on its initial banner, and I just was destroyed, man. I got Jade Cutter, and I just gave up after. No, I actually didn't give up after that. I think I did like 50 summons afterwards, and I just did not get this weapon. Now, this weapon is absolutely insane for Kazuha, one of my favorite characters in the game. What this weapon does for my Kazuha is basically 36% energy recharge, sort of, right? Not exactly, because my Kazuha has 978, we're 30 off, it's whatever. But it also does give around like 10 energy recharge to every other character that I have. Xiangling does not need this. I should probably raise the Staff of Homa for my Xiangling, now that I think about it. You want to know a funny thing about this weapon? If you have this thing at R5, it can give Kazuha 72 energy recharge. That is the highest amount of energy recharge any weapon in the game actually gives. Never mind, this weapon gives more. But it's close to a 5-star weapon. And that's not the only thing it's giving. It's also gonna give 165 elemental mastery. And don't forget that these characters also get the weapon buff. So my Xingqiu has like an extra 10 or 11% energy recharge. It's around there. We'll check afterwards. But yes, this is absolutely insane. But yeah, these characters have a ludicrous amount of energy recharge. My Bennett is at 250. All of these characters are easily above 200. Xingqiu was close. And then Kazuha, he doesn't need, a massive amount of energy recharge considering his burst is only level 60. Realistically, this Bennett really does not need 250 energy recharge. I don't even know how he got that much. That's enough talking. I should probably show it. Now, so now the best way for me to show this weapon is to show the difference in energy. So what we're gonna do, clearly, is we're just gonna Q. Alright, cool. How you doing? And then we're gonna E-skill and see how much energy we get. So I would give that about a fifth of the energy, right? That's a fifth. That's pretty good, right? So now I'm going to switch off of this weapon, and we're going to see how much I can do. Just overall, this will provide more consistency for your teams, and Kazuha is like a support that fits on every single team. So he's providing consistency for like 700 teams at once. It is insane how crazy Kazuha is. And not to mention, he is getting buffed by other characters' attacks, right? Like, you could see not that much from Xingqiu, but it is a decent amount. We got our energy back because of Xiangling. So that's cool. Getting our energy back super fast. Normally on Kazuha, you don't normally do that. So now, we're going to switch to his, well, sort of third best in slot. As good as the energy recharge is, Kazuha is probably still better for supporting your characters on Freedom Sworn, except if you're using a character like Raiden, which doesn't really get much of a buff from Freedom Sworn, then maybe we have a case for Xiphos Blade being his best in slot. Once again, pop that, and let's do this. Okay, so that's like, I would say a good, like 50% extra energy. That is pretty crazy. Like an extra 50% energy when we're looking at it, because obviously Kazuha now has only 120 energy recharge. Now, a weird thing you can line up with this weapon is this effect. So this effect, for 2 seconds-ish, you can have it line up to be a double stack. So I think, in theory, Kazuha should be able to have like 72 energy recharge just from using this weapon, but it's nowhere near consistent and you really shouldn't focus on it. But just a funny thing that could happen and benefit you quite a bit. Now let's look at all these other characters' energy recharge. 208. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like 11%. 233. Bennett was at 250. What is he at now? 239. So it's around 11%. We'll round up to 11%. So he's giving 11% energy recharge, which may not seem like a lot. But when you're running Xingqiu, a character, but when I'm running my Xingqiu on this team, he doesn't really run out of his burst often, but he is the guy who is running out of his burst the most. for whatever reason, one or another. So Xingqiu is a character that also sort of benefits. Like, you could run this on Xingqiu, not recommended. When running Xingqiu on a proper weapon and not sacrificial sword, you do see a huge drop in his consistency, I would say. But with this sword, like, he does become a more consistent, which is always good. I've got no other words, but this sword was actually just insanely OP. Like, there is nothing that I can really say for it. Like, this sword speaks for itself. Not to mention, once again, we can give 20 energy recharge to these characters if we had it R5, or 22, right? That would actually be very, very noticeable. 20 extra energy recharge. Listen, I ran Shangling on this weapon for the 36% energy recharge, and I'm telling you, there is a difference, right? With running her on like Staff of Homa or something like that, you will see a difference when you switch over to this weapon, right? Not to mention that a lot of characters run off Emblem, so giving them extra energy recharge just for free, oh, that's actually just giving them more damage also. So what, they get 2.5% extra damage, is from what I can tell from this, like from just regular Xiphos Blade with, you know, Kazuha 1000 EM, right? So yeah, that's really good. These are some of the best characters in the game. You can run Yelan on this team. Like, Yelan is a character that also struggles for energy. You could put her on an HP Sans, possibly because you have an R5 version of this. Maybe you don't need the extra 30% energy recharge of this. But you can use this, and hey, you have an ER substat. So what, I would miss 20 energy recharge if I switched to this when I was using my Kazuha? So yeah, that's a big difference, and honestly, might be viable to actually run my Yelan like that now. And using Kujosara and riding Hyper Carry, that's another thing. You can run Ganyu on Emblem because she's just a burst support sometimes. You can run Ayaka on Emblem. That's really good because Ayaka can struggle sometimes, depending on what team you're using, to get her burst back. Depending on what team you run with Ayaka, you might use her on Emblem to get her energy up. And Kazuha will help her and buff her damage slightly, but still, she will get a buff of damage because of Kazuha's existence. Now, you know, we all know that Kazuha already buffs, you know, characters like that, but he's buffing them even further with this weapon. There are so many characters that just function great with just an extra little bit of energy recharge. It could make or break a character. A character's consistency can determine whether you actually beat Spiral Abyss this season. Yes, I said season. I don't know why. This weapon is like top 5 in the game. If this was a 5-star weapon and it had like 200 elemental mastery and 608 base attack, this would be an insane weapon for like 90% of the characters in the game. Obviously, that's over exaggeration, but I mean, this weapon is just insane. Yeah. So that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.